So the day this whole journey started for me was about 15 years ago. It was a full concert hall, and I was backstage, and I was sitting talking to one of the girls in the ensemble with a cup of coffee. We were about to go on stage in around 30 seconds. And at that time, I had maybe 25 years on stage playing professional music with the best musicians and artists I could think of. So I've been very fortunate in my life, and I got, as you now know, a very early start. Everything was the same this day as any other day. This particular show we did done for, I don't know how many times, maybe 60, 70 times already at that moment. And everything was the same people, the same crew, the lighting people, the audio people, the dancers, band, the orchestra, the artists, and production people, and so on, makeup. Everything was as it usually is. And this day, it just hit me. Everything suddenly became unreal. I look down at my hands, and I see that my hands are there. I see that they are holding a coffee cup. But I lost a sense of what it's for. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what it does. And that was more strange than scary. I was just totally blank, and I didn't know what was up and down anymore. But I felt kind of normal still. Everything became surreal. But then I realized that in about half a minute, I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to play drums for 2.5 hours. And I have no idea how to do that. Now, I've been playing drums every day for X amount of hours since I was 3.5 years old. So playing drums is equal to walking, basically, for me. It's my identity. It's what I do. And then it started to creep in that if I don't know how to do that anymore, I don't really know who I am anymore either. And that became very unpleasant, and kind of a panic set in. So I walk up to the drum kit and I start off the show. I count the band in. And I still have no idea what I'm doing. And as I'm walking up and I'm sitting down and I'm grabbing my drumsticks, I still don't know what this is I don't know what I'm doing. But some kind of a muscle memory kicked in, and I counted the band off and I started playing. And to my big surprise, throughout these 2.5 hours, I was expecting someone or many people come up to me and say, "What are you doing? You're messing everything up. We can't dance. We can't sing. What's going on? You're fucking up the whole concert. What's going on?" But no one did, to my big surprise. And I get through these 2.5 hours on pure muscle memory. In total surprise that nobody noticed. And then as I walk off the stage and I go back up to my dressing room, I knew that I had to make the biggest shift of my life up until that point. Because I am not living my life in truth and honesty. I made the first difficult call within 5 minutes of walking off that stage. And that was a very difficult call, let me tell you. And that set me off on a journey. My body was trying to tell me things. I was in unhealthy relationships, and I had been for a long time. I wasn't speaking my truth. I wasn't honest with who I am. So how could they be honest with me either? I wasn't clear. They were not good either. I'm not taking full blame for everything that was wrong in my life, but I take ownership of my part of it. I was unhealthy also personally. I was disconnected to my dark masculinity, and whatever the people in my youth had, this superpower I was telling you guys about, I definitely no longer had any access to that. Now, remember, I was as successful as I could even dream of being. I had my dream job. I was on stage playing with the best musicians and artists I could think of. None of that had any meaning to me now. At this point, I realized that I had to rebuild my life from the ground up. And that set me off on a 15-year-long journey. It took me all over the world. And that journey made me realize, and I learned on a very deep level on that journey, that it's not about age. It is not about genes, and it's not about luck. You can control your shadows. You can stop the people pleasing and start leading both yourself and others. That journey is what became the Superpower Guide system that we will be talking about today.